Level 1, the new hire. You are 24 years old. This is your first real job. You get hired as a junior content strategist at a mid-sized marketing agency on the 8th floor of a building where the AC is always set too cold. You are the only person on the team who actually understands the company's old internal system, a tangle of spreadsheets and workflows built years before you arrived, the kind that only makes sense to whoever wrote the documentation in the first place. Your manager's name is Michael. He's been at the company for 15 years. He's the one who interviewed you. He's the one who believed in you before you believed in yourself. Your first week, he says one sentence that stays lodged in your head for years afterward. This team doesn't run without you. You believe it completely. You work late without being asked. You memorize every client's preferences by heart. You become the person they call at 10 at night when something breaks. You're proud to be that person. You don't know yet that being needed has an expiration date, and nobody ever tells you when it's coming. Your paycheck is small. You still split rent with 2 roommates, but you have something that feels more important than money. The sense that if you disappeared, someone would notice. You don't know yet that this feeling is the first thing that gets taken from you, long before the job itself does. Level 2, the believer. 2 years pass. The company rolls out an internal AI system to automate research and first draft content. Most of the team is skeptical. Some are outright scared. You're not. You're the one who dives in first. You spend your weekends learning how to prompt it properly, reading documentation, building internal templates so the rest of the team can use it faster. Management starts calling you the AI champion of the department. You put it in your email signature. You're proud of it. What you don't notice, or choose not to notice, is that every template you build, every editorial judgment, call you teach the system to make, is quietly becoming the blueprint for something that will one day replace you. You are training your own replacement with your own hands, and it feels great while you're doing it. Team output triples in 6 months. At the all-hands meeting, the CEO name drops your team as the example of the company's digital transformation. You clap the hardest in the room. The following week, HR announces a role restructuring review for efficiency. Smith, the guy who sits 3 desks over, the one who bought you coffee your very first day, gets called into HR at 9 in the morning. By 10, his desk is empty. Security carries his box of belongings to the lobby. Nobody says the word layoff. The term is role restructuring. You help him pack. You don't know what to say. Smith just looks at you and says, "Nice work with the AI, man." His voice isn't angry. That's what makes it worse. Level 3, the survivor. You survive. You're one of 4 people left from a team that used to be 11. You're now doing the work that used to belong to 3 people at once. Your hours don't officially change, but the reality is you're online until 11 most nights, babysitting AI output, fixing the small mistakes the system can't catch on its own. You don't complain. The fear of being next outweighs the exhaustion. You start noticing a strange pattern in yourself. You're the first one in and the last one out, not because you're diligent, but because some part of you thinks physical presence is proof you're still needed. You know it doesn't make sense. You do it anyway. One night, Michael puts a hand on your shoulder while you're still at your desk at 10 p.m. "Go home," he says. "Nobody's handing out medals for how tired you are." You smile, but you don't leave. You think about Smith's face that day, the way his voice didn't carry any anger. You don't want to be the next Smith. You don't realize yet that working harder isn't preventing anything. It's speeding it up. Level 4, the manager. You get promoted to manager at 29. You know it's not because you're the most talented person left. It's because you're the only one who understands both the old system and the new AI system fluently. A living bridge between 2 eras that the company needs. At least for now, your job isn't writing anymore. It's overseeing a system that now does the work of 12 people. Your salary jumps up significantly, more than you ever expected at this stage of your career. You finally move out of the shared apartment and get a place of your own downtown. You buy a decent car for the first time in your life. Your parents call to say how proud they are. You post a photo of your new desk setup online and 40 people like it in an hour. But every night, You sit alone reviewing what the machine produced, comparing it against the standards you personally taught it, and something about it feels less like managing and more like guarding a thing that no longer needs a guard. Michael, your first mentor, gets moved into an advisory role, a soft term for a job with no real function. He doesn't have a team anymore. His days are filled with meetings where the decisions were already made before he walked in. You watch him age faster in the past year than he did in the previous 5. You want to help him. You don't know how. Your own position is too fragile to spend political capital defending someone else's. Level 5, the bridge. Corporate asks your team to train the next generation AI system using the full history of your editorial decisions, client preferences, and quality judgment calls built up over years. You're handed the project as a reward. The bonus attached is substantial. You sign the contract without reading the fine print too closely. You spend 6 months documenting every decision you've ever made. Every reason one draft beat another. Every instinct you had about what a client wanted before they said it themselves. You are quite literally writing the manual for how to think the way you think, for something that will never get tired, never ask for a day off, never ask for a raise. The system finishes training in month 9. The results exceed everyone's expectations, including your own. In the quarterly review deck, the word redundant appears for the first time next to your team's name. It's a word you've only ever seen land on someone else. You read the slide 3 times before it fully registers that this time, it's about you. Level 6, the consultant. You leave with 6 months severance. The company gives you a glowing reference letter. Everyone at your goodbye happy hour says you were one of the best people who ever worked here. You smile through the whole thing and cry in your car on the drive home. 3 months later, you start an independent consulting practice, teaching other companies how to implement the exact same kind of AI system that replaced you. The irony isn't lost on you, but it's the most marketable skill you have, and rent doesn't pay itself. Every time you pitch a new client, you know exactly what's going to happen to their team in 2 years. You don't always say it outright. You use softer language, like team structure optimization. At an industry conference, you run into Smith, the coworker who got laid off years before you did. He's a consultant now too, at a different firm doing nearly identical work. You share an awkward laugh about the coincidence over free coffee at a sponsor booth. "We're both out here selling the gun that shot us," he says. You don't know what to say back. You exchange numbers and never actually call each other again. Not out of anger, but because seeing each other feels like looking into a mirror neither of you wants to hold too long. Level 7, the teacher. You're 58 now. Consulting is long behind you. You teach evening classes at a local community workforce center, not technical skills, because whatever technical skill you teach today might be obsolete in 2 years. But something harder to name: judgment, empathy, accountability, the ability to read a situation that no dataset will ever capture. Most of your students are in their early 20s. Their faces carry the exact same fear you felt 30 years ago, just faster and bigger, with even less runway to adapt than your generation had. You tell them the work will keep changing shape, but the ability to adapt, to stay human inside a system that never stops shifting, is the one thing that never truly goes obsolete. They listen politely. Most of them don't fully believe you. You're not upset about it. You remember not believing it either when someone older told you the same thing. The truth was never going to save anyone from having to live through it themselves. You go home that night, open your laptop, and see a notification from your old company. They've just launched their next generation AI system, announced as the next great leap forward. You close the laptop without reading further. You know exactly who it's going to hit. You can't save them. All you can do is help the next one stand back up a little faster. Somewhere that same night, a 24-year-old opens their first work laptop on day 1 of their first job. Their company gives them access to an AI assistant to help them get started. They're thrilled about it. They have no idea they've just stepped into level 1 of the exact same cycle that's played out countless times before them and will play out countless times again after them. The cycle continues.